Okay, so today we have a very interesting subject matter about Tchiyat HaMetim, the resurrection of the dead.
Yay!
Okay, so before we starting to get all the inspiration of the Ramhal here, I want to say a little insight that I had many years ago, that Tchiyat HaMetim, resurrection of the dead, is not necessarily something that's talking about future to come. It is something that can happen and should happen every moment. Meaning, we have within us many parts that are unfortunately dead. And when we are awakening them, when we're connecting them to Hashem, this is Tchiyat HaMetim, this is the resurrection of the dead. And to make this statement a little bit more solid, I would add that there's a Gemara that says that the tzaddikim, the righteous people, when they're dead, they called alive. And the wicked people, when they're alive, they are called dead. So, according to that, every part within ourselves that is not connected to Hashem, meaning it has some wickedness that is blocking it from connecting to Hashem, so it's dead. Because it's not connected to Hashem. Hashem is the source of life. Whatever is not connected to Hashem is dead. And every part of ourselves that we are reconnecting it to Hashem, this is Tchiyat HaMetim. So, maybe I should have said that in the end of the class, because that's what we're trying to do with the meditation, right?
You say it again at the end of the
So we'll speak about it again. Anyhow, so let's get a little bit the inspiration of the Ramhal over here, of the Datfunot. So it says, we know that Hashem created us body and soul, right? The whole creation of ourselves is this combination, body and soul, physical and spiritual. And it's not so easy to live with a contradiction like that, right? It's quite challenging. Your neshama wants to, fly and learn the whole Torah and just, disconnect from everything to be focused and dedicated, and right. And the body have all those needs that are like so bothering all the time. You have to eat and this and take a shower and to go to sleep and until you wake up and all of those. It's very difficult, right? Not to speak about other things. So it's a big wonder why Hashem put us in this situation, that it's so hard to live this, right? You want someone to do a good job, so first thing you do is to remove all the obstacles and give him all what he needs to succeed. But it seems it's not like that really, but it seems as if Hashem he did the opposite for us. He's putting all of those obstacles in our way. So it makes it hard to succeed in all of those missions that we have. Now, all of that would have been true, unless we would have this inspiration that we're going to have from the Ramhal now, which is that the whole purpose of the creation is that we will have challenges and we will get over them. And then by getting over those challenges, it means that's the success. So it's not so much about getting to a certain point. You have a certain destination, certain goal, and if you get there, you win, and if you don't get there, you fail. No, it's not like that. because the goal is eternity, meaning you can keep on going, right? How much can you get closer to Hashem? Is there a limit? No. What is the height that your neshama can reach? Is there a limit? No. There's no limits. Everything is infinity. Go on and on and on and on. Never stop. So where's the goal? Where is our destination, right? So the answer is that the goal is that you will walk the way. Right? That's the goal, that's the purpose. As long as you're walking, as long as you're going in the right direction, you're doing your purpose. If someone is, giving up and going out of the way, or going back, or sitting down, or whatever, establishing a village in the side of the road, all kinds of things like that, so that's a problem, right? Defeats the purpose. Now, as long as we're walking, there is more and more obstacles, and the truth of the matter is, unfortunately, I don't like to say that, but this is the truth, that it doesn't get easier. The challenges, when you're getting to be more mature, and you can take on yourself more responsibility and more challenges, so Hashem gives you those extra challenges, right? So for the big righteous people, they have big challenges. Obviously, it's not the same kind of challenges. For them, the things that they are debating between themselves is, everything is in the side of the holiness, but it's very, very delicate decisions of which kind of time management and how, like, whatever, to help this community or that community, for example. So both of them are, it seems like a mitzvah. So the decision making is very, very delicate. When you have to choose between doing mitzvah or doing avera, right? Positive or negative. So then, you know what you need to do. So maybe you have Yetzirah, so it's hard to get over it, to choose the good, but you know what is the good. But when there's two things that it seems like good, and you have to choose between them, and the reasons why one of them, the good is not pure good, is only, there's something there, so then it becomes to be very hard, very, very challenging. And I'm not saying that I'm there, that I know, that's what I understand that those people are confronting. Anyhow, so let's go back to this point that we have our body and we have our soul, right? And while we're walking the way to the direction of Hashem, the direction of the good and the light and the Torah, we walk with those two parts of ourselves. Really, it's not only two, because each one of them divides to many, but let's say body and soul. Now, Hashem wants to give His goodness, right? In the end, the purpose is that everybody will enjoy the ultimate goodness of Hashem. And when we are here in this physical world, we are very limited. How much spiritual pleasure can we really experience here? Right? The heights of the heights that we have within our capability is limited because we are in physical body. It's a great place to put in a little story. It's not exactly a story, but there's in the Torah, in Parashat Achrei Mot Shnei Bnei Aaron, after the death of the two sons of Aaron, Nadav and Avihu. So let's go over the story there for whoever is not on the same page with us. We'll all be together. So So there was a big preparation of preparing the Mishkan, and then the first day that they did the first service of the Mishkan, the two sons of Aaron, they brought within the service of the sacrifice, they brought a fire that the Torah calls it Esh Zara, strange fire, and then Hashem took them. They passed away. They died. Okay, and there's a big discussion in the Gemara. What was the reason? They give like 5 different reasons. What was the reason that Hashem killed them in that point? I'm not going to go over all of that different opinions. I want to say over the Perush, the commentary of HaChaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim ben Attar. You heard about Rabbi Chaim ben Attar? HaChaim HaKadosh. So he lived about 400 years ago. He came from Morocco and he came to Yerushalayim, and he was in the same time of the Rashash, but he established his own yeshiva, and he wrote many books, but the one thing that he wrote that many people are reading and really putting in time and of learning is the commentary that he wrote for the Torah. So they call him Or HaChaim because that's the name that he called his commentary in the Torah, Or HaChaim. Anyhow, so he writes about this thing that happened to them, that the story there was that they had such a pleasure to be connected with Hashem that they themselves decided to give up on their physical life and to just be immersed with the light of Hashem. And he says this is the concept of mitat neshika. How would you say mitat neshika? Kiss, death? Death by kiss, maybe is better. I'm not sure. Anyhow, so it says that the righteous people, they have mitat neshika. When they need to die, they die in a way of as if Hashem gives them a kiss, and in that way they are moving from this station to the next station. Okay. So, in other words, they were very advanced. Nadav Avihu. They were very high souls. They were, the Moshe Rabbeinu, after they died, Moshe Rabbeinu told Aaron, a Kohen, he said, I thought that we and you are holy, but now I see that your sons, Nadav Avihu, they were much holier. It says in the Torah. Anyhow, the concept is that we are limited with the pleasure, with the spiritual pleasure that we can experience with this physical body. So for the righteous people, that they know that, they feel that, they live that, they don't want to have this limitation. So they're waiting for the opportunity to move on, to go to a place that they don't have this limitation, so they can be connected with Hashem with, full extent. So there is a reason to be here, right? So we are not here with no reason, so we don't want to leave too early. We want to complete our mission, but for whoever is doing his job, to finish the job and to move on, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So just in the brackets, like the people that are scared from death, in a certain way it means it's because they are not doing their job. Because if they would do their job, there's no reason to be afraid of death. Right? Someone, he didn't do his job, he still owes different things. So then he have a reason to be worried, he have a reason to be afraid to die. Because I don't want to live before I'm finishing my job. Right? So even though the people that are really wicked, they don't know anything about the job, and they basically ignore it. But even though they ignore it, but their neshama knows it. Right? Someone that is ignoring the Torah, ignoring Hashem, his neshama is in constant suffering, right? When he's still alive. So he himself is afraid to die, but he doesn't really know why. The answer is because his neshama knows that he didn't do his job. So how can you live before you finish your job? One of the things that I personally pray, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's something that comes again and again, is that I'm asking Hashem to help me to finish my job. Because I know that it's not something that I'm capable to do just by myself, because I don't really know what is it that I came here to do. How many books do I have to write that I can say I did my job? I don't know. How many students should I have? I don't know. Right? No one knows what is really his job. You know what is your purpose? No. So we have to pray to Hashem that Hashem will bring into our life all of the things that we need to deal with and to finish and to walk, to be able to leave this world happy. That we know that we did whatever we needed to do. Right? So that's a good thing to pray for. So one of the things is if you owe someone, so to be able to pay him. If you insulted someone, so to find out about it and to ask for forgiveness. All kinds of things like that, right? You don't want to leave things open. So that's a okay. We already got to that subject. Not at all what I was planning to speak about, but somebody was asking me a few days ago, that like many years ago, he took a loan or he stole some money or something happened that he owes someone, and he doesn't know where to find this person. Now he wants to correct, he wants to do good, right, and he doesn't know how to find the person. And I think there's many people that in this situation, that when they were young they did like foolish things, and afterwards they understand and they want to, but they can't find the people that they took from. So I had this question myself many years ago, and I got good advice from one of the rabbis that I was learning with Kabbalah in the beginning. His name is Rav Gilali. So I heard from him a good advice for that, to do some mitzvah that needs money. For example, to buy books and to distribute them, to give them for free. And to say that the merit of this mitzvah will go to this person that you owe him. Right? And then it's not like you paid him in this world, meaning theoretically, if he would have known about you that you owe him and he would have sued you in the Bed Din, you will have to pay him again. But in the world to come, future to come, the spiritual world, so this person will find out that he gave all this bunch of books to people, and he says, I don't know, I didn't do it. Like, where this mitzvah came from? So they will tell him, look here in the book, you see, this person owed you this amount of money, and he did this instead, and this is for your merit. So it's in your heavenly account. Okay, so obviously the person will be very happy, right? Because there he doesn't need the money, he needs the mitzvah. So he won't complain, and if he's not complaining, so you can move on and to go to higher stage in your spiritual world. So that's a good advice. So it can be anything. It can be whatever, feed like poor people, give money for Torah scholars, whatever is something that you need to spend money on. So you do it and you say that that will be for the merit of this person that you owed him the money. And even if you don't know his name, so you have your intention, wherever it is that I stole from him, wherever it is that I took from him, let it be for his or hers or their merits, and that's it. Then everybody can be happy in their world to come, B'ezrat Hashem. Now, let's go back to this contradiction of body and soul. So what's happening? We born with this contradiction, and we're trying to live our life and to find some kind of a balance between our spirit and body, physical. And while we're doing that, I'm talking now, forget about like the rest of the world. We're talking about like people that are involved with doing mitzvot, following the Torah. So when you are doing mitzvot, the mitzvot are involved with the body, right? You can't do the mitzvot without physical body, right? You cannot put on tefillin when you don't have a hand and a head, and right? It doesn't work. So all of the mitzvot is basically connected to our physical body. Even though there is like mitzvot that are in thought, but thought is also within the physical brain, disconnected. Okay, that's a big subject, but let's put it aside for now. So we are doing the mitzvot with the physical body. What happens when that takes an action? When we are doing the mitzvot with our physical body, the physical body gets refinement. Okay? The Torah and the mitzvot are refining, making the body to be more refined, more pure. Okay? If you want to put in a little bit deeper Kabbalistic understanding, so it goes back to the snake that put his dirtiness within human beings in the Gan Eden. And when we are doing the Torah, so we're pushing out the dirtiness of the snake. Okay? So this is part of the intention that we should have when we are doing the mitzvot, that with the merit, with the segula of this mitzvah, we are pushing away the spiritual dirtiness that the snake put in the human beings. So, how many mitzvot a person have to do to get himself clean and neat, right? It's a big question. So obviously, not all the people are equal, but really there's no limitation. So once again, like we said in the beginning, we are going in this way and we don't really have a certain destination. So we just keep on doing as much as we can. The more the merrier. As much as you can do more mitzvot, whatever it is that you do in your life, as much as you can put in, so you're getting yourself to higher level of refinement. Physical refinement. In other words, within the physical body, we have barriers that are preventing from the connection between the body and the neshama. The neshama is connected with Hashem, and the body, because of this dirtiness, is pushed off, right? And as much as we are refining the physical body, we are able to get to a higher spiritual state by putting away those obstacles and bringing the connection, which is really the natural connection that Adam HaRishon had before the snake. We bring it back and we are able to connect to Hashem in a higher form. So we're living our life, and the truth is that it's not one life, it's few times living through life, like the whole idea of reincarnation. And as much as we are doing, as much as we are succeeding to be more and more and more involved with the mitzvot, we're getting to a higher level of refinement. And when we are done, what happens? We don't have to come back to another lifetime.
Yay.
So what does it mean? The neshama can stay up in heaven because there's no need to refine the body. The body got refined. Good. So the neshama is there enjoying the pleasure, spiritual pleasure of the light of Hashem. Okay? All of the different descriptions that we have about Gan Eden, about the feast, meal, all kinds of things like that, obviously it's a metaphor that we have to understand what's the message there. But there's no eating and drinking and other things that connected to physicality in in the real Gan Eden. The real Gan Eden is totally spiritual. So all of that is like to give us certain understanding about the spiritual pleasures of the neshama. But it's only talking about spiritual. It's nothing to do with physical. So the neshama is there, and the body is rotting. The different bodies getting rotten in the ground, in the grave, right? Unless someone is a really, really big tzaddik, so then his body doesn't get rotten. But normally, the body gets rotten. Then, we get to the end of time. What does it mean, the end of time? Pretty close now. We're getting, right? We are holding in 779, right? So we have another 221 years for this world. Then we're getting to the deadline, the end of time. Okay? It's not something to be scared of, right? If you're in the right side of the game, there's nothing to be scared of. If you're in the wrong side, then you have to be worried. But try to make sure that you're in the right side, and then everything is good. So, what happens in the end of the 6,000 years that the world was created for? Everybody is dead. All the neshamot are in Gan Eden, and all the physical bodies are in the ground. Okay? After another 1,000 years, we're getting to the 7,000, the end of the 7,000, meaning the beginning of the 8,000. Then, according to the Ramhal, this is the time of Tchiyat HaMetim, the resurrection of the dead. Okay? Is it exactly the 1,000 years as the years that we know, the way that we're calculating the time? I don't know. But that's what it says. Okay? The time that we have is the 6,000 years. Afterwards, we have 1,000 years that there's no one around here. And then, after another 1,000 years, basically all the neshamot comes back to the body. Now, a big question. Which body? If there was so many different lifetimes, different bodies, so, right, to have many bodies is good, but when you have one neshama and so many bodies, so it's a little bit embarrassing. What do you do? Right? So the answer is that the body that did the majority of the tikkun. Okay? So if you like your body, make sure you're doing the majority of the tikkun. If you don't like your body, find a different one. Anyhow, so we have to make sure that we're doing as much as we can, and then we have this body that we can wake up to, right?
What happens to other bodies?
They stay in the ground.
Oh.
All the rest of the bodies are staying in the ground. So,
it wouldn't be unfair by the little one mitzvah that they did?
look, Hashem knows how to do the calculation of the reward, okay? But basically, all the other bodies is getting nullified to the main one that did the majority of the tikkun. That's basically the way it works. So it's not like they are nothing, but he's the main one, so they are like within it, included within it, somehow. It seems like something a little bit contradiction, but something like that. Anyhow, so what's the reason for all of that, right? Why do we need this whole long process to live and die and live and die and live and die and then stay for 1,000 years and then come back? It seems like very, very complicated and unnecessary, right? Just, created it the way you want it, and that's it.
And if we've already refined the body, why come back to the body?
Right. Why to come back to the body after it's already refined?
Or what to leave it? Just do your life.
So, there is many possibilities, many ways that we could have think to plan it if we were the ones to plan. But Hashem have His plans, and we are just trying to understand a little bit of it. So, the way that the Ramhal is giving it is connected to a word of Chazal in the Gemara. I think we spoke about it before, but it's always good to say it again. There's a Gemara that speaks about a king that he took two guards to his orchard. One guard had no legs and one guard was blind. So the guard that was able to see, he said, I see all of these beautiful fruits, but I can't reach them. And the guard that he had the legs, he said, I can go, but I don't see anything, so I don't know where to go. So the guard that was blind with no legs, he said to the guard that was blind, the guard that had the eyesight but no legs, he said to the guard with the legs, with no eyesight, put me on your shoulders, I'll be the eyes, and you will walk, both of us, and we'll be able to go and eat some fruits. So they did it, and afterwards the king came and he said, where's my fruits? So the guard with no eyes, he said, my king, I cannot see anything, so what do you want? Obviously it's not me. And the guard with the eyesight with no legs, he said, my king, I have no legs, obviously I cannot go to the fruits and eat them. So the king was a wise king, so he put the one that they have the eyesight on the one that have the legs, and he gave them lashes together. Okay? So, in other words, the neshama have the sight, but it doesn't have the means, physical means, to move. The body have the physical means to move, but doesn't have the sight. So, the same way that we just said it about the punishment, the same way is also in the positive about the reward. So because the body was involved with doing the mitzvot, it's not fair for the body if he's not getting the pleasure of the future to come. So basically, the whole reason of the resurrection of the dead, Tchiyat HaMetim, is that the body will get its reward. Okay? The body will get its reward for the time that he was doing the mitzvot. Okay? Now, it's interesting, if you think about it, for us, we don't really feel the pleasure so much by doing mitzvot. But for real tzaddik, so he already feels the pleasure. Right? If I would have write you a check of $1 million and hand it to you, you will feel pleasure from that? Or not?
Yes.
What kind of pleasure? You didn't like eat something nice. You don't like just a piece of paper. Why do you feel pleasure?
Potential.
Because of what it can buy you.
Because what it can buy you, because of the potential, right? That's the answer. So, but you can already feel the pleasure, right? You can already enjoy it, even though it's only a piece of paper, but you can already feel pleasure from it, right? So for the tzaddikim, every mitzvah is like that, because they feel already the potential of the pleasure of future to come, so they get the pleasure right now while they're doing it. Right? Same way. Exactly the same way. So, even if we are not there, we can think about it. Right? So, try it next time you're doing a mitzvah. Try to contemplate. Wow, this little thing that I'm doing now, it's such a big thing. I'm going to have so much pleasure in the world to come from this little thing that I'm going to do. And as much as you are contemplating on that concept, you can already draw pleasure for wherever you hold in your life. As much as you will make it more realistic for you, for yourself, you can already feel that joy and satisfaction. What I'm saying now, by the way, it's an advice that it says in the Shara Mitzvot of the Arizal. He said that every time we're doing a mitzvah, we should contemplate about the reward of future to come that would come with it. And he says that the language he's saying is very interesting. He's saying that we have to be happy, simcha, she'en la ketz. Joy with no end. The simcha that we should have from every mitzvah is with no limitation, with no end. Simcha that goes over everything. So, obviously, if someone that is really practicing that in this way, that's already a very, very high level. אפשר להיכנס. ברוך הבא. מבינים אנגלית? לא. זה שיעור באנגלית. אבל בסדר. Anyhow, so we have this concept of תחיית המתים, and this is something that is very, very confronting, meaning it can give us a lot of comfort that we think about it, that all of the effort that we are exerting our body to do, all of those mitzvot, going back and forth to the Bet Knesset, to whatever you have, like someone that is asking you to help him and you're carrying stuff, or whatever it is that you're exerting your body with. So it's something that have a meaning for the physical body, not only for the neshama, obviously for the neshama, but also for the physical body. So all of those things, the physical body will have these pleasures, will be able to enjoy it, right? So the joy is not only for the neshama, the joy should be also for the physical. So right now, we don't have it so much, unfortunately. But the potential is there. And if the potential is there, like we said, you can draw it into your life right now. Okay? Yeah, I think that's a good place to hold with that and to move into the meditation part of the class. So, today I want to do something different, okay? Today we're going to do something different, a different kind of meditation, something we didn't do before, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to start with the regular relaxation. That for me it's like the foundation of any meditation. But then what we're going to do is we're going to try to go back within our memories. Okay? Some people call it regression. But the way that we're doing the Jewish regression is that we want to awakening within ourselves the light of Hashem to bring it into those memories. Okay? So this is something that is very, very helpful for anyone that is suffering from something that happened in the past. Okay? And that's, I think that majority of the people, they have all kinds of issues like that, that things that they feel like that it makes them miserable for different reasons, things that they did or things that someone else did to them or things that just happened, whatever it is. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to contemplate on those difficult moments of our life. Okay? We can't do it all in like one time, but you go back until you find something that you want to take care of. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to draw the light of Hashem, to do the meditation of bringing the light of Hashem into that scene that we have within our memory. Okay? To awakening the faith and the light of Hashem into those memories. So, to my humble understanding and experience, someone that is doing that constantly, he can heal himself from all of those different things that he feels that is chasing him. Okay, so it's something that it has a great potential for self-healing, and whoever have like issues like that in his life, and I'm assuming that in our modern world probably majority of the people have issues like that, so do it as much as you need until you feel that everything is good and shiny, Bezrat Hashem. That's the purpose. It seems a little far, but it's possible. Okay, with some time and dedication, it's possible. So we will from today's meditation, you can start getting that, and after you get the idea, so you can do it yourself. Okay, now I just want to put on a warning. If someone have like really serious trauma, it might be very hard. Okay, so someone that he have like something that it was like really traumatic in his life, and is going back to that scene. If he's doing it like with all his strength and might, it might be very like to live again the trauma. So I'm suggesting to start with very light things. Okay, small things, small issues. Don't go to the big things. Okay, and be very, very slow and very, very careful. Whoever knows about himself that he have like serious issues, be very, very patient and push the big issues like down the road. Okay, try to like do it again and again after. I can't say numbers, but let's say after 200 times that you're doing this kind of meditation, that then you can say that you got already the skills that you're able to go to deeper stuff and more harder stuff. Okay, for someone that his life was not so difficult, and the issues that he have is like things, like a relationship with his parents or whatever, things, that it's not so traumatic. So then you can go straight to that. But according to you have to be sensitive to yourself. Okay, don't torture yourself, and don't push yourself too much, because and if you feel that you need it, it might be a good idea not to do it by yourself. To have someone that you are close with, that you trust, that will be there with you. So if you feel that you need, so he can like give you a hand and support you. If okay, okay, that's I think that's clear. Bezrat Hashem. So let's make ourselves comfortable for the practice of the meditation. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Relax your mind, you relax your body. As we're starting, just make yourself aware of your thoughts. Look on your thoughts, the stream of thoughts, whatever comes to your mind, without interfering. Contemplate about connecting yourself to Hashem. Contemplate about the light of Hashem coming in. Light of Hashem is good, merciful, warm, loving, accepting. Contemplate about yourself getting healed. First of all, we want to experience within the present before we're starting any movement of regression. So within the present, try to bring the light of Hashem into all different parts of your inner being. Every time you're breathing in, you bring more light. You bring it in. To all of the different thoughts that runs through your head. Bring it into all of the different feelings that you have. All of the corners of your personality. Try to see light coming in more and more, feeling everything. The parts within ourselves that is not used to have the light coming into them. They're like dry land. All of a sudden feels the drops of rain. Bring it more deeper. Fill up all of your being. Absorb the light. Let the light of Hashem heal you. Penetrate all the way. Deep inside. If you feel secure enough, you don't have to, you can stay within the present, keep on breathing, bringing the light to all of the different parts of your being. But there is a possibility to start a regression by starting to go back within your memories. You can start with a simple step. Think about a few hours ago, what did you do? Where were you? Something light. It is not too challenging. Something that you are not 100% happy with. Think about it. Go back to that moment. And breathe in. And bring the light of Hashem into that moment. Strengthen your faith. Hashem was with you in that moment. Strengthen your faith that it was needed, whatever happened in that moment. Try to transform your feelings about that moment to positive feelings, as you know that it was from Hashem. Hashem planned it. It was supposed to be that way. There was a purpose in that scenario. If you feel that you succeeded to transform your feelings from negative to positive, that's a very big thing. Baruch Hashem. Feel gratitude. Give thanks to Hashem in your heart for this possibility that He gives you. If you want, you can go back another step. Think about something that happened yesterday or the day before. Something that was more significant maybe. Go through the same process again. Breathe in. Think about the light of Hashem coming in. Bring the faith. Come to be conscious to Hashem's presence in that moment. Even though it was a difficult moment for you, Hashem was there with you, supporting you, giving you the sustenance, giving you life. Increase your consciousness to that moment, the presence of Hashem in that moment. once again, try to transform the feelings that you have to that moment from negative to positive. Because if Hashem is there and Hashem was there, must be positive. Must be that there is a reason for that. Hashem doesn't do anything with no reason. Everything serves its purpose. Contemplate about purpose of you as you are now connected to Hashem. Contemplate about the fact that if something would have been different within your past, you would not be yourself now. Maybe you wouldn't have this privilege to connect to Hashem right now. God forbid. So Baruch Hashem, bless Hashem, to be able to connect to Him right now. So whatever was in the past, everything becomes to be positive. Everything have a reason. Everything is serving the purpose of the benefit and goodness of Hashem. Contemplate about it. Try to feel the satisfaction of knowing the reason. Slowly, slowly bring your consciousness back to yourself now, to your present, to your emotions right now. Back to the physical body. Bring back the movement, slowly, slowly, take your time. When you're ready to open your eyes, try to keep within you all the positive feelings, connecting to Hashem, feeling the satisfaction. So, like I said, we did it something very light, only spectrum of a few days. But obviously, for someone that he wants to really walk on that direction, so slowly, slowly, he will go to deeper places within his being and more distant memories. So if you feel comfortable, you can do it by yourself. If you feel less comfortable, do it with someone else on your side, and whoever is interested. So if someone needs like personal guidance to, so you can be in touch with me, and I'm open to work with people. Bezrat Hashem, bli neder. Anyhow, questions, comments?
Spoke history, our past relationships, what mistakes or lost opportunities. I guess I just answered my own question.
Yes. So the point, I think that it's clear, but maybe for someone it's not clear. So I will say it, that as much as we are becoming to be more and more aware of Hashem's presence through our life, through all of our life, so there's no reason to be sad or grumpy or complaining about different parts of whatever it was, because everything serves its purpose to bring us to the place wherever we are. So it doesn't mean that someone that made a sin should not regret it and do tshuva for that, obviously, right? But after someone is already getting to a certain maturity with his process of tshuva, that is, if he already accomplished whatever he needed to accomplish, so there's also an angle of looking at that and being happy for whatever it was. And in a certain way, for me, this is the deeper meaning of the words of Chazal, that someone that is doing tshuva me'ahava, that is repenting from love to Hashem, so all of his sins becomes to be merits. Why it becomes to be merits? Because without those sins, he wouldn't be wherever he is. He wouldn't have this new level of intimacy with Hashem. So it becomes to be a positive thing. Merits, meaning it becomes to be a positive thing. Even though when it happened, it was negative, but in the long run, you understand it was needed, so it becomes to be positive. And obviously it's a very, very long process, but it's worth it. It's a good investment. And for me, sometimes I do that, like while I'm putting myself to sleep. When I'm one of the times that I'm doing all kinds of different meditations is when I'm putting my head on the pillow and waiting to the sleep to take me over. So there's a few moments there, so you can use them. For some people, it's more than a few moments. For me, Baruch Hashem, I don't have a problem to fall asleep. But for some people, it can be a long time. So use this time for meditation. And also, when you have all kinds of thoughts that are bothering you, so when you are occupying your mind with the meditation, so you're pushing away all the thoughts that are holding you back from falling asleep. So anyone that have any problem of falling asleep, to do this meditation or other meditations, it can be very simple meditations. So usually it helps a lot to fall asleep, and to fall asleep in a good, positive way, and Bezrat Hashem also to wake up in a positive way. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, so bracha v'atzlacha, and all the good things for everybody, and Bezrat Hashem to be continued.